Hey there YouTube. So in this video I wanted to cover briefly why Delaware LLCs are one of the best options if you're looking for anonymity as the owner. So pretty much every state in the US has limited liability company statutes, so you can set up an LLC in the state, but they've all got their different kind of rules and regulations around how to set the entity up and what information is required in order to launch the entity, and then further, what information is publicly available if you just go to the state registrar website. So anonymity is obviously something very important for a lot of business owners and taxpayers. Obviously, you don't want your name attached to certain investments, let's say, because you're trying to protect yourself from creditors or lawsuits, or frankly, you just want some privacy, right? You don't want to launch an entity that is going to be perhaps in the public sphere, is going to own some assets, and you don't want your name to be linked to it personally, right? So why is Delaware a good option? So Delaware is a good option for a number of reasons. Let's go through all of them from the beginning. So the first one is the launch of the entity from the very get-go. What information is required? When you go to Delaware to launch an entity, Delaware requires very little information, right? So the only information that's required, and it's all included in effectively just a one-page certificate of organization. You have the desired name of the LLC, right? You have to appoint a registered agent within the state. So at this point, you've already come up with the name. You've reached out to a registered agent, you paid the fee, $50 or $100, whatever it is per year. So you have those two elements. You need an address for the principal place of business of the entity. Doesn't necessarily have to be in Delaware. And then you need the name of the person that's actually going to sign the certificate of organization. This is referred to as the organizer. It can be somebody who is an owner of the company or is not. A lot of times when you hire a lawyer to set up an entity, they sign as the organizer and then they relinquish that title after the entity is formed and the owners just take over. That's fine. Effectively, only those elements are actually listed on the original filing filed with Delaware. So already, if you have an LLC that is going to be owned by X number of persons, none of that information is provided to Delaware, okay? It's only the information we've already listed there above in point 3. The other important piece is what happens on the annual renewals. So in Delaware, the LLC renewal process is incredibly straightforward and simple. You have to pay an annual fee, fixed $300, and that fee is fixed regardless of what type of activity is conducted by the business, how many owners, what are the assets, all of this. Use just $300, no questions asked. That's what you need to file and pay. Now, in contrast, a Delaware corporation, the fee computation is much different. You actually file a franchise tax return where you report information on the officers, the directors. You report more information on the number of shares that have been authorized, issued and outstanding. So you're providing a lot more information to Delaware when you have a Delaware Corp versus a Delaware LLC. The other nice thing about the LLC is, again, it's fixed at $300. For corporations, you're computing the franchise tax based on one of two methods, right? The assumed par value method or the authorized shares method. So depending on how many shares you have issued and outstanding, or if you're using the assumed par value method, you're looking at that element plus what's the gross asset value of the company at the end of the year. Different fee computations and corporate entities, the franchise tax fee can get quite high. I mean, it can even be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on your structure. So that's the other nice thing about the LLC versus the Delaware corporate entity. But again, back to the anonymity issue, LLCs, you're not reporting any new information other than you're just paying the fee, and that's very important. Now, the other thing to touch on, and so in contrast, let me use some other examples. So like if you look at a Florida entity, Florida LLCs, you disclose everything up front. So you have to disclose who are the managers, who are the members of the LLC, names, addresses, all of that information is reported. If you go to some other place like, let's say, Wyoming provides a lot of anonymity, but it's only for the first year, right? So the organizer is listed, then every time you file the annual report, you've got to disclose the assets of the company, make any changes to members, and a lot of companies will use nominee directors or shareholders or persons to kind of serve as the front of the company. You're allowed to do that. That provides some anonymity, but there's that additional step, whereas in Delaware, you don't have to do any of that. So that's why I think Delaware is maybe one of the best states if you're looking for pure anonymities, because they really just don't ask for any information. So you can launch the entity and be all set. And so the last point there, anonymity at the state level. This is an important caveat because for my clients and other persons that are looking for anonymity, this really only covers you at the state level. When you're dealing with the federal government and the IRS, there's not as much latitude, right? So the federal government has crafted the rules in such a way where they want to collect information about everything. It's very hard to circumvent that. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you have an LLC, let's take the first point, for example, that's taxed as a partnership. The partnership's got to file a Form 1065 tax return every year, and you report information on the owners via K-1s to the IRS, right? So they collect information, whether this is a two-partner LLC or 2,000, you're reporting all that information on K-1, so the IRS knows exactly who owns this company. Now, the state might not. Again, Delaware is hands-off. They don't want any of that information. But the federal government's collecting it via the Form 1065 filing and all the K-1s that are being issued to the owners. Okay? And the same applies with SCorps, right? So you have an LLC that files an SCorp election, same issue. Delaware is not going to know who owns it, but the federal government will, because they get all that information on Schedule K-1. And then lastly, LLC's taxed as C Corp. So the same issues apply. An LLC taxed as a C Corp, there are certain disclosure requirements for substantial owners. So if you have an owner that owns, it's generally like 20%. So you have an owner in an LLC taxed as a C Corp that owns 20% or more of the stock. They are specifically disclosed on, I think it's Schedule G of the Form 1120. And then if it's a foreign-owned company, there might be a Form 5472 disclosure in there. So again, the message here is a lot of this anonymity planning just happens at the state level with respect to the public databases. For federal tax purposes, and when dealing with the IRS, there's not as much leeway. So I still recommend going with the privacy protection route. So it still makes sense to use Delaware entities or Nevada entities because there are less people that are going to know that you own the company. But at the federal level, it's going to be very hard to avoid letting the IRS know that you own the company. It's just a non-starter at this point with all the rules they have and all the forms that are required to be filed. So. So that covers all the pieces I want to talk about, and the Delaware LLC anonymity issues. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below on the video. Happy to answer those. I always appreciate the feedback in the comments. And yeah, that covers it. I mean, thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. All right, thank you.